You hate to see it, man. You hate to see the Patriots lose by 1 to the Indianapolis Colts in what might have been their last opportunity to win in this season. But nonetheless, I got to say one thing up front. I have never been more proud of this football team. It's been a long season. It's week 13, and I think I just watched the Patriots play one of their hardest ball games since I've seen in week 1 and week 2. The run game looked excellent. Drake Maye looked like a veteran. The secondary showed up in a way I've never seen them show up before. It was nice to have Jabril Peppers back, also with Kyle Duggar at the safety position. The defense was holding the rushing from the Colts. The defense was holding the passing yards from the Colts. It looked good. But unfortunately, some penalties and about 2 missed field goals will allow this score of 25-24. Welcome to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot. Let's go on ahead and just jump into my initial reaction to the Patriots losing by 1, and this was brought down by the final last seconds of this ball game. And I really do think that we have to take a look here at what the Colts were able to do on offense, because I'll be honest, it wasn't much. Anthony Richardson being held 12 for 24, and this is no secret. Richardson's not one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, right? He was benched earlier this season by Joe Flacco. But he had 109 yards, 2 interceptions, one in the first half by Christian Ellis and one in the second half by Christian Gonzalez. I mean, he couldn't find a receiver to save his life. But the one thing that really stood out to me for the Colts offense, and I think this speaks highly of the Colts offense rather than the Patriots defense, is that they were very successful in third down conversions and in fourth down conversions. That was really what was the momentum changer for the Colts on offense. They were able to do 1-for-1 on fourth down efficiency, and for the, that is not the right stats that I have up here. Oh my gosh, so sorry about that. When I'm looking at the right stats, they were 3-for-3 on fourth down conversions for the Colts, and they were 5-for-11 on third down conversions. So most of these did come in the fourth quarter on their last drive. They did eat up about 5 minutes of that possession time, and of course led them all the way to score, and a successful 2-point conversion is how they ended this game. And this really was the best offensive player of the day, was Jonathan Taylor. And, you know, a lot of you guys have him in your fantasy starting lineup, so congratulations to your fantasy team. Nobody cares. 25 carries for 96 yards, but here's the thing. His longest was a 9-yard run. So really, the amount of momentum that he was finding was on the outside of the offensive line. And Jonathan Taylor is a really hard guy to tackle. He is. He is definitely a yards after contact type of running back, but the Patriots do still have a little bit of an issue with wrapping a guy up and taking him behind the line of scrimmage, taking him at the line of scrimmage. They allowed the first contact for Jonathan Taylor to come 1 to 2 yards after the line of scrimmage, but then allowed Taylor to have that second acceleration and fall forward up until about the 8 or 9 yard line and possibly set them up for another first down. That was where the Patriots really struggled, was just tackling Jonathan Taylor, which sounds crazy, but, you know, I guess it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And then when you do end up looking at somebody like Michael Pittman Jr., somebody that you probably also have on your fantasy team, and it wasn't the best game that you saw from Pittman Jr. Why? Because you had lockdown defense in your secondary. Not just Christian Gonzalez, but you saw Marcus Jones, Alex Austin coming back from the IR. Jabril Peppers was back there. 42 yards on 5 receptions, and his longest was 10 yards. I mean, the Colts really were not moving the ball like that. The Patriots defense really did show out here. And when you look at the first downs, I mean, I think that the Patriots dominated. The passing first downs were 14 for the Patriots. The Colts had 5 passing first downs. There were several plays where the receiver was just white on rice covered by Gonzo, Alex Austin, Marcus Jones, Jonathan Jones. It was a really good collective effort there from the secondary. They got their first downs from rushing. They had 13 rushing first downs and 5 passing, so it really wasn't anything special through the air. So ultimately, the Patriots couldn't stop them on that last drive. That was where it really started to come down to, and if I look and see how much that last drive actually did end up taking up in terms of that time of possession, we had a a scoring play here in 8:43, and that was the last time the Patriots had that football. And then you go and you let them continue to move the chains down the field, and it ended up just not working out in the Patriots' favor. I'm going to tell you guys about our sponsor here in just a moment, but I do want to tell you guys real quick about what I saw from the Colts offense. All right, so they ended the day with 402 yards. The passing, they only had 295 yards on the day. They had 107 yards in rushing. And then turnovers, they did not have any turnovers against the Patriots. They had one interception, but it was really stupid. And the time of possession ends up coming to 22 minutes here for the Colts. All right, let's go on ahead and tell you guys about our sponsor here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Let me tell you guys about Prize Picks, #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. I'm playing Prize Picks every single game day. Here's why you guys should too. Prize Picks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America, and there's over 10 million people playing Prize Picks right now. So if you guys want to go on ahead and get started, it's super easy. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. That's truly all you guys have to do to try and win some money. So if you guys want to get started right now, you can pick between professional or collegiate players. You can also mix and match on your teams. And it's also available in over 30 different states. All you guys have to do is just download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Let's talk about Drake Maye's game. 24 for 30, excellent. 222 yards, even better. 1 touchdown and 1 interception. I want to talk about interception here real quick because this is something that Drake Maye cannot prevent. This is something that Tom Brady cannot prevent. This is something that Patrick Mahomes cannot prevent this interception from happening. They were in the red zone. They really need to score a touchdown. And Drake Maye fires a shot directly into Hunter Henry's abdomen. Hunter Henry, while he's catching it, it is being stripped by Zaire Franklin from him. So the minute his hand touches the ball, it is also being ripped out from him. All right? Hunter Henry falls on his back after this play. That ball that was just recently stripped has now flopped off of Henry's body and into the hands of Blackman, the secondary player for the Colts. That's how that interception ended up. So #1, that's credit to the defense. Great strip, great catch, and that's how that story goes. It was one of those unfortunate plays where the ball didn't touch the ground, so it was still active. Did it also happen on the 1-yard line? Yes, and that really sucks. But this is not from Drake Maye making stupid decisions. I actually saw several plays where I thought Drake Maye made very veteran-like decisions. Instead of what he did last game against the Dolphins when the pressure was coming and he had his arm being pulled down here and his throwing arm just chucking it up in the air for a duck pass, he would avoid the sack by trying to run just 1 or 2 yards and slide. So not even throwing it out of bounds, but the pressure was coming for Drake Maye. And one thing I really liked for him that showed me that veteran tendency was his non-throwing hand. When that pressure was coming, because believe me, it was there on that blitz, Drake Maye, while he was running and he was either pump faking or cradling, he had that other arm guiding him to see where Zaire Franklin was, see where that other defender was. So while he's running and looking, he's got almost a hand on this defender behind him to know his timing. And I thought that was huge from Drake Maye. I mean, when you're in Pee Wee and you're learning how to carry the football and you have a defender on this side, you're taught to switch because that way it's farther away from the defender. You're now watching Drake Maye learn things at the pace of the football game that I think are going to help him moving forward. And it also helps when Drake Maye has a little bit of help on the ground. Rhamondre Stevenson, welcome back, my friend. My goodness, we missed you last week when you had 8 carries for 13 yards. Now you double your carries again, and you go for 73 yards. Thank you. With his longest run, starting off the first drive of the game, 32 yards. You needed that game from Stevenson. Why? Because now it made the defense work extra hard on the Colts side because you didn't know if they were going to run or throw. When Rhamondre Stevenson has 8 carries for 13 yards, guess what they're doing? They're throwing it because the run game is non-existent. So when Stevenson has a game like this, it just helps the offense flow so much better because now Drake Maye is able to have more flexibility and AVP has more flexibility in his play calling because you know that both are working. And you got to give credit where credit's due in the passing game. Hunter Henry was a huge part of the Patriots' success today on offense. And not to mention, Henry got hit, crown to the head and a hit to the side simultaneously. He goes and gets checked for a concussion. Neurologist says he's good to go. He pops back out here and still has a hell of a game. I mean, I think that the passing game and the run game was probably one of the best I had seen the last 10 weeks. This was fantastic from the Patriots offense. I don't have that many critiques. 382 yards total offense, 257 yards on the ground. They had 2 turnovers. They had 2 interceptions. Not a fumble. I don't know why it says fumble. And they dominated the time of possession. I think really the only thing that I have to kind of point out here about the Patriots that I don't think we really talked about here was the penalties. And the Patriots had 7 penalties, but they also scored 2 touchdowns. They scored 2 touchdowns in this ball game that were called back because of offensive holding, both times. One by Mike Onwenu and one by Layden Robinson. And you just can't have that. I know the Patriots have struggled with penalties in the past, but you had 2 touchdowns called back because of those penalties. And the Patriots did also struggle in red zone conversion today. They relied on Joey Sly a lot, who missed the game-winning field goal, but it was also 68 yards. His career long is 63 yards, so that was really tough. He also shanked a 25-yard field goal, but I guess we're not going to talk about that too much. The penalties were tough, but when you look at the red zone completion here, I'm trying to find, there it is. Red zone completion, it was 3 for 4 for the Colts. It was 2 for 6 for New England. That could have been 4 for 6 if we didn't have those holding penalties. So you still have a lot to clean up. Thankfully, you do have a bye week coming up, so now the Patriots can really start to watch that film, figure out what they did right, and maybe Drake Maye can possibly change some things up. That would be great heading into the last couple of games here of the season. My last question for you guys here before we head on out here is grade the Patriots' performance versus the Indianapolis Colts. I might be a little controversial here, but I'm giving them an A-. The only reason why I'm giving them an A- is because they didn't win. But that was a hell of a game. I would give them an A, but I didn't like the red zone conversion. I give them an A+ if they won. Yeah, their penalties were 7, but at least it's not 12. So that's my grade. You guys feel free to go on ahead and comment your grade in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the watch party with me as well. I had a blast, and I hope you guys did too. As always, go Patriots and subscribe.